Hey there, everybody. We have some weather getting ready to move in, so I'm gonna have to cut some of my projects a little short. Still got plenty to do inside with our starts in the grow closet, but I thought this would be a good time to share some notes about how I go about splitting things in the early season when I am crazy impatient. So I hope this helps some of you out. Here we are. You'll notice that I have a whole bunch of water in a wheelbarrow, and this is one of our hascaps, Lonicera ceruleae. The soil from which this came was up to about here-ish. So you can see kind of where the soil had come to. And if I pull this guy out of the water, you can see this crazy massive roots here, right? So the water itself is only slightly warm. It's not very hot, maybe room temperature, 50, 60-ish degrees. I run my house heat very cool. Heat doesn't kick on until the thermostat reaches like 62 degrees. So, but you can see if I get real close, these are all fresh roots coming out of these stems. So, the important thing to remember is you don't want to use a very drastic shift in temperature if you have a block of ice nestled around the roots that you're looking to get access to. This is all it really takes, and maybe a little bit of that. The stirring of the water, if you have a bubbler from a fish tank or a pond, even just a small air pump, just the motion of the water is what will thaw the ice the fastest. It's the same principle for thawing meat. You just have a little bit of current and some cold water, and it actually, through convection, carries heat through and takes the cold away and replaces it. So what we'll be doing is coming through and trimming some of this, and I'll be back in just a second, and we'll see how many plants we get out of this one plant. Back in a sec. So from that one plant, we now have 6. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this guy right here is where everybody else was cut from. So this, with all of this super impressive root system, is going to be the one that we put back under the pot we have nicknamed Becky. And the reason I'm doing this one like that is because it will have the most rebalancing. It will have some root dieback to balance what is no longer attached to the top of the plant, but we'll be able to surround that, mulch it deeply, and part of what it'll do is send out all of new shoots to take the places of these guys, and the rest of these can be added back into the landscape. So let's take a look real quick at what that looks like. Alright, we are back at the hole where this was dug up from, and I just want to point out that, like, with the amount of litter that we top dress with, these beds are so well insulated that there is about an inch to an inch and a half of just ice, soil ice. But underneath that, all of this, while cold, is still entirely workable and unfrozen. So our plants are waking up, and they are able to have a great waking up response because there is just so much activity able to go on because the soil is above freezing. So we will bury this guy back in. So we're nice and firm. We are almost where we want to be. And now we add Becky. So now Becky will go around the top of this guy and bring all of this leaf litter and pine straw back in and around to help keep inside relatively happy. But we can start with just a little bit of decayed leaf litter broken down from over the winter. And that'll be the start. As the season progresses, we'll add sawdust from the local sawmill up the road, and we'll come in and add some of the rabbit manure from our rabbits, possibly some compost from the compost system, depending on how well and how thin that goes, how well that stretches over the rest of the gardens. But yeah, I hope that for those of you who are dealing with that frozen inch of ground and too much excitement and impatience, I hope this was useful. Till next time, thanks for watching. Happy planting.